Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Reviews After Midnight. And on this episode, which is episode 35, so wow, there's been 35 of these already. Um, I'm going to be looking at a film, and I got my sheet here. So it says film title. It is Hirokin. Sorry for the pause. I knew the name, but it just wasn't clicking when I saw the title. But it's Hirokin, The Last Samurai. Uh, it says on the front here, it stars Wes Bentley, which he is the star, but not even on the back. It's so weird because this also stars, the late, great Julian Sands. There is no mention of him at all. I mean, he's in the back credits here, but man, there's not even a picture of him here. So this, it says the fate of man lies in the hands of one warrior. Wes Bentley from the Hunger Games. 2012. This thing is long. It's 105 minutes. There are deleted scenes. There's about 5 of them, I think. And if they put those back in, this thing would definitely be probably 2 hours, which is way too long. 105 minutes is way too long anyways. So we got the film title done. Could you also include a star rating here? So if I did 1 through 5, I'm thinking I'm going to give this a 3 for effort. So 3 for effort. Because it's an independent film with a big scale. This really is, it's Dune, it's Star Wars, it's Gladiator, we got some Jesus thrown in there. It's a little bit of everything. And he is called The Last Samurai, but the samurais are never mentioned in this once. And he is definitely not the last, because there's a bunch of people in this. Well, a bunch makes it sound like it's big. Like half a bunch of people that he fights with. And he does have this sword. And I thought maybe this was photoshopped, but I don't think it is. I guess this box is okay. The back one I thought was definitely photoshopped. Just his head plopped on somebody else. But I don't know now, because he does dress like that in the film. In fact, it's right there where he's dressed like that. So maybe it's just a bad picture. But the box could definitely be better. This is Lionsgate, so it should have been better. It's rated R for violence. That's the only thing that's on here on violence, because there's definitely no swearing. There is definitely, there's no swearing. There's no nudity. And there were definitely areas where it could have had nudity. One of the main characters, one of the main actresses, does take a shower, but she's fully clothed. But it's very loose, so it's so the fabric sticks to her. So I guess that's the closest they're going to get to nudity. And then a couple of the characters are walking down this seedy area where one of them even says sorry for having to take you back here, and there's no nudity at all. So guessing that they're prostitutes with men, but there's no nudity. And like I said, there's no swearing at all. Introduction. What did you expect from the film? I actually expected this to be really bad. And I was pleasantly surprised. My main complaint with it is that it's too long. I don't know exactly what they could cut out, but with the deleted scenes, I mean, I'm glad that they did take those out. There's one deleted scene that I really didn't like, and a couple of the other ones were like, eh, they could have left them in or took them out. Didn't hurt the film any. But it's I expected this just to be bad, and surprisingly, it wasn't. Uh, there's a making of, then there's like training the samurai fight choreography, deleted scenes, it's widescreen, Dolby, English subtitles, Spanish subtitles. I really wish that this would have had audio commentary on it. Would have been nice. So watching the behind the scenes, which is not very long, it's only a few minutes, and then the training the samurai is the same way. Like the deleted scenes, almost every deleted scene in there is 3 minutes. I think one of them is maybe 2 minutes, but they're pretty much 2 to 3 to 4 minutes each. So I think if they did leave them in the movie, this would have been at least close to 2 hours. Watching the behind the scenes, I was impressed. They went through a lot of effort to make this movie. I mean, there was 9 months of prep, a lot of costumes, a lot of like fight choreography, a lot of practice. I mean, what they showed in the few minutes of the behind the scenes was pretty impressive for this type of movie. That would probably just end up on a shelf in a video store, or maybe just go straight to Tubi or something like that. Actually, I think it is on Tubi. So if you want to check it out, check out Tubi. I think I saw that it was on there. This also has Angus McFadden, who I like. He's been in other stuff, and nobody else I really know. But I give this a 3, like I said, for effort, because they're definitely trying to build a world, and I don't think this is a world that, I mean, it's 2012, so, and we're now 2025. So if they haven't made part 2 by now, I'm guessing that they're not going to. But they definitely, for the amount of effort that went into this, I don't know, maybe back in the day, Sci-Fi Channel TV series, or maybe a couple Sci-Fi Channel movies. Excuse me. If this was made by the Asylum, this probably would have had a couple sequels at least. I don't know what its budget is, but I mean, it looked good for its budget. It's on another planet. The director of the behind the scenes said that when he was looking at the script, that he didn't think that it could take place on Earth. It needed to be on another planet, and so it's kind of a post-apocalyptic other planet movie. So there's samurais, there's spaceships. There's these kind of guards that are kind of cool looking. Julian Sands plays the villain. So it's not, I mean, these guys are almost kind of Jedi looking, but it's not really said if, samurai or not. But I guess in some of the scenes, and you see it in the behind the scenes, is that there is the clothing that I guess like a samurai could wear. And I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing maybe that's a samurai sword or a different type of samurai sword. I thought they kind of, wielded the swords and stuff more as knights, like King Arthur or something. That's what it seemed to be more like to me, not really samurai. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know a lot about samurais, really only from movies and documentaries. But let me read to you what the movie is about. So, on a planet where humans must scavenge the barren post-apocalyptic wasteland, looks like Hirokin, a reluctant samurai with a dark past sets off on a mission to fulfill his destiny. having fought to death to save his having fought to the death. Having fought to the death. No, he doesn't. Well, they think he's dead. Okay, yeah, they think he's dead. Okay. Having fought to the death to save his wife and son from the planet's evil dictator, Griffin, who's Julian Sands, and his elite army of warriors, the lone samurai is left dead. Okay, left dead in the vast desert. Armed with his samurai blade, Hirkanen is faced to choose between avenging the murder of his family and fighting for the freedom of his people. So there's even kind of like a Moses thing in this too. And they're a little deceptive in the write-up for this, but I guess you would have to be because there's a couple twists in it. So what else does the what type of film is it, and does it have a message? So, like I said, it's science fiction. It takes place on another planet, post-apocalyptic. It has a very kind of B movie quality to it, almost Roger Corman-ish from like his Deathstalker days and stuff. Basically, when everybody was making the Sword and Sandals films, that's what this feels like, is kind of a Sword and Sandals film. Does it have a message? No, not at all. It's just for sci-fi entertainment. That's all. And like I said, I was never bored. I did check the time a couple times because, like I said, I just think it's just a little too long. Plot. So what happens in the film? Our main character, Hirokin, is with his family. So there's even Conan the Barbarian in this. He's with his family. His wife is honestly kind of a bitch. He rescues her from a village that's being destroyed. And now they live in a cave and they have a kid. And it's 7 years later. And there's a flashback to her regretting this. Like, she wanted so much more. She's tired of living in a cave. So, I mean, he did save her life, but I mean, it's not like they knew each other before. He just grabbed her and pulled her out of the burning village. And these soldiers come by, like Julian Sands, Griffin's soldiers come by. They're called deacons. And they basically fight. I'm just going to say Wes Bentley. So I'll just say Wes Bentley. They fight Wes Bentley and he gets knocked out. The deacons take the wife and the kid back to Julian Sands. And this is where we get the whole gladiator thing. And he sends Wes Bentley out to fight. This is kind of cool, though. I like the set for it. It's like this big metal round piece, and it's all rusted, which I always find funny. Like in David Lynch's Dune, they're on a planet with no water, but yet a bunch of this is rusted. So I always found that interesting that you're going to do rusted things in the desert when there's like no water, and they make a point that there's not a lot of water out there. But it's this big kind of circular, I don't know, like arena, and in the middle of it is the wives are put up and they're shackled up, and it almost looks like a scorpion's tail, and it's aiming down at their chest, and the men are hooked up on chains that are around their necks, and the chain goes through the bottom of like the metal piece, like the post that the women are attached to, and it goes up and controls this metal piece that has like a spike on it, like a knife. That's where the scorpion's tail comes in. And if they don't keep the chain extended, it gets lowered down and can stab the wife in the chest and kill them. So the people that are fighting have to make sure that they fight far enough away and keep up and keep like standing up. If they fall, they better get up quickly, especially if they get pushed towards where the wives are, because the piece will go down. It's almost like a saw trap in a way, and so people fight, and the wives are killed. um, Wes Bentley, the character, wins, and he says, now let her go free because those are the rules. If he wins, the wife goes free. Of course, Julian Sands doesn't like that. And there is a woman that's with Julian Sands, and he wants an heir to his throne. But she's not giving it to him. She's not getting pregnant, and it's found out later on that she's had a kid before, so it's probably not her problem. It's probably Julian Sands, character, Griffin's problem. But it seems maybe earlier on that Griffin has his eye on Wes Bentley's wife. So Wes Bentley gets knocked out. We think maybe she's dead. Maybe the kid is dead because it's off screen. And then he's thrown out with the rest of the dead bodies. And these two guys that are like these kind of hustlers, these traders, find him. They get knocked out. And then it's like it's a black guy who kind of like, I want to say like Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2, or maybe even like Morgan Freeman. I believe he was Little John in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood. That type of character where he basically saves Wes Bentley and takes him to outside the city. He's like, you need to meet up with my friend. The enemy of Griffin is this guy named Moss, he's more of kind of like a Moses type, where he has his people and he wants them set free, and he needs to get to this one point. And so the black guy brings Wes Bentley to this one point, says, I can't take you any further. Go over there, follow that like red thing, and my friend should be there, and he'll take you and he'll help you. And so now it's kind of a Conan type of thing where he's out for revenge. He thinks his wife is dead. It's kind of and then he figures out later on, when once again he's put into the arena, he gets captured, and he finds out then that the wife and son are actually still alive, kind of a reverse on Gladiator. And I don't want because I think this is okay, because I thought it was worth watching, and you can see it for free on Tubi. You just got to sit through the commercials. I would say check it out. It's really not that bad, especially if you do like kind of the Sci-Fi Channel type of science fiction movies or post-apocalyptic films and stuff. So, and man, we're not even off of question 4 yet. So that's what more or less happens in the film. I'm not going to give the whole thing away. Does the plot make sense? Sure. Like I said, it's Conan, it's Gladiator, it's basically revenge. He even says it, revenge. My whole mission is revenge. Is it easy to follow? To a degree. They do create new dialogue in this because it is a planet of the future. And I don't think any of the deleted scenes would have helped, but there are jumps where I got a little confused on things. Like I don't think that they did a great job on making us believe that the wife died and the kid died. When we cut to another scene, I'm like, oh, I guess they died. And I'm like, okay. And then later on, of course, we find out that they're not. But there's things like that where I think they could have been better. I don't really know how they would have done it, but I don't know, maybe have the wife crying, and then Wes Bentley's character sees her and he gets hit in the head and it goes to black. So I don't know, maybe something like that. Is it believable for the type of movie it is? Sure. Like I said, it's a revenge movie. It's Conan. It's all of those movies, Gladiator and all that. A guy in this case thinks his family is dead and So he's going to go back and kill the guy who did it. Um, who are the main characters and what are they like? So the main characters are Wes Bentley, then Julian Sands, then we have Angus McFadden. We got the wife, and then we have a woman who I think is attracted to Wes Bentley, and she goes with him to basically help him get revenge. You know, she travels with him, but I think that at some point she wants to hook up with him, and he says he can't. You know, he has a wife, he's in love with her, and you know, even though she's dead, which he isn't, he needs, you know, he needs to stay loyal to her. And I actually think that woman was better looking than the wife. So I don't know. I would have gone for her. And let's see. So who are the actors playing these parts? We just did that. Are there parts? You know, are there good? Are they good parts? Yeah, I mean, Wes Bentley is fine. It's interesting that he's taking on this character. Julian Sands is a good villain. Um, Angus McFadden kind of plays this prophety type. Yeah, like I said, you're like a Moses type guy, and yeah, I think everybody did a good job of this. I don't have any complaints with any of the actors. What is the camera work? It's not that interesting. It's kind of typical. It's not great. It's fine. There's, and I know this is in camera work, but there's some weird edits. And in the behind the scenes, they do show like a drone and other things. But there are some nice shots that of the desert and all that. But I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff might be stock footage. I don't know if they actually did it or not. But the directing is okay. It serves its job. It nothing really stood out to me. And then it says, you know, if there are special effects, what are they like? Yeah, it's got some gore in it. I mean, it does say rated R for violence, so it does have some violence in it with like swords and things like that. I mean, there's even a head, like a top of a head gets lopped off. So that it's fine. You know, there's blood on clothes and all of that. Are there any beautiful scenes? No, not really. I mean, it's the desert. It looks awesome, you know, regardless. Are there moments that the camera is used in an interesting way? I don't know. Nothing really stood out to me. Like, oh shit, I need to go back and rewatch that. That was beautiful. Um, did you enjoy the film? Why or why not? Yeah, I mean, I kind of went over that. I thought it was not bad. I mean, I'll add it to my. I guess I could go into like my sci-fi post-apocalyptic movies with like Mad Max and some other movies. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. It was good. Um, what were its good and bad points? So I know it's a limited budget. They say that it's an independent film. There was a lot of work put into this, which is why I'm giving it a higher rating than I probably would. But with the limited resources they have, and what's interesting is one of the deleted scenes I think should have been put back into the film because the Moses character, the Moss character, Angus McFadden, he's becoming a little delusional in that they can win this battle between, you know, Julian Sands character and this guy who's maybe like his second in command or something. He lets him know, you know, we have like no people. There's like maybe 3 dozen people, which we never see. I mean, pretty much we don't see 3 dozen people. But he says we have like 3 dozen people compared to his, you know, massive army. And and I think they should have left that in because it does show that they don't have a lot of people. Because we only see maybe 10 people at most. And then near the end, they talk about how the different camps or settlements and things are now coming together to do this fight. So we do see quickly 2 or 3 people standing at this camp, 2 or 3 people at this camp. And so we are seeing that there are other camps, But like the end fight, there's only like 4 of them. It's not like everybody kind of came down in this arena, and which even the palace for Julian Sands seems to be kind of small in a way. But yeah, there's only a few of them. And what's funny is that when like Wes Bentley and all these other people, well, I can't say all these other people, these few other people enter the arena, the door is wide open. Like there's guards, but nobody is guarding the door, so they could they just walk right in. Anybody could walk right in. So I thought that that was weird. That if you're kind of anticipating a fight, you might want to have the guards posted so they, or at least somebody could go, "Hey, here they come! They're right there." But okay, fine. Um, so is the camera used in an interesting way? Not really. Nah, it's fine. Did you enjoy the film? Yes, I did. What were its good and I was already on that. Good and bad points. Another thing that kind of bugged me is oh god, I'm glad that they cut this out. There's a birth scene. One of the women who I don't think we really knew who she was, even though she has a name, is giving birth, and the birth takes a minute, and we see, and then the baby's all wrapped up in a blanket and the mother dies, and they're saying, oh my god, she's bleeding everywhere. And Wes Bentley's character is looking through the tent, and I'm just like, but in the deleted scenes it is long, it's longer, but even less believable. So I'm glad that they cut this out, because there's no umbilical cord, the baby's not bloody, it really is just her screaming, ah, I can't do this, ah, and then, oh, here's your baby. And then the mom goes, oh, let me look at it. Dies. Not the best scene. So I'm glad that they cut out the longer version of it, kept in the shorter version, but it's still not that great. What scene did you particularly enjoy and remember? Uh, I like the few scenes with this with like the spacecrafts that are kind of like hovering over the sand. So that did kind of remind me of, let's say, like Return of the Jedi, when with Jabba the Hutt and the Pit of Sarlacc, when they're on the skiff that's on the sand. That kind of reminded me of that. I liked those. The CGI isn't perfect, but it's low budget, but it looked fine for what they needed. Um, I like the deacons. I thought they were cool. Uh, the ending fight was okay between Wes Bentley, and Julian Sands. Once again, very gladiator-ish. So I don't know. I can't really say that there's anything in particular. Um, would you recommend this film, and to what sort of people and why? I would recommend this film. Check it out on Tubi. I recommend it to people who maybe like samurai movies, who like sci-fi movies, who like post-apocalyptic movies. If you like sword and sandal movies like Gladiator, I think that you will enjoy this. Just know going in that this is low budget, that it is an independent movie. So, just you got to look at it that way. And then, are there any other films that you could compare this to? And I've been doing that throughout the entire movie, or throughout this entire video. And I was doing it through the movie too, because I was going, oh, well, that's Gladiator. Oh, that's Star Wars. Oh, that's, Moses. Oh, that is, oh, that's Jesus. So, oh, that's Dune, especially since it takes place in the desert. But that's my review of Hirokin, The Last Samurai, which I still don't. He's not the last samurai. Maybe he is a samurai, but he's not the last samurai, because there are others that are training that look the similar with these type of swords. So I don't know. I like I said, I don't know enough about it. So maybe this is a samurai sword. It almost looks like it's made for the movie, but it could be, I guess. So, all right, everybody. So thanks for joining me for this review. If you've seen this, let me know down in the comments. I would appreciate it. If I don't know, I just kind of came across this movie and thought, I don't know, looks kind of interesting. Why not? Let's check it out. Never seen it before. So let me know if you have, and if you have, what what you thought of it. So all right, I appreciate you watching. I'll be back next month with another reviews after midnight. I have no idea what I'm going to review. Something, as I'm sure, will come up, but I will see you on that video. All right, bye.